Hey there guys, we are back. Today we are going to be designing a deck box. This one is a bit more open-ended than previous ones because honestly I haven't put too much thought into it beforehand, so we'll see how exactly this goes when I design off the fly. Otherwise what you're looking at is your standard issue deck box. This is the super cheap one if you want to get it. And honestly, it is one of those things we are not trying to replace this specifically with this design. This is so cheap that you may as well just buy it. It's solid, you know, it's not going to fall apart. If you're just looking for a deck box, may as well just get a deck box. I just have a deck out here for example, but cards go into a deck box, easy peasy. That's what a deck box is in case you're unfamiliar. To start off this stream, I'm going to look at a couple different examples of deck boxes on Thingiverse, just so that we get an idea what we're talking about. So, first off, this kind of deck box, this is a minimalist deck box, I do not see the point in. This is what I was just talking about. This is the, you know, why not just buy a deck box from the store if you're not going to do anything special with it. So this is not what we're going to be designing. Also not what we're going to be designing, and I'll actually start at the top here, is a boutique deck box, you know, that just looks good. So all these examples right here are not exactly what we're going for. We're going for a mechanical design, which I'll show you in the first part, but they are very cool, which is why I have them up right now. Excuse my cell phone. Sorry about that. Let me mute this. Alright, cell phone is muted. Back on task. So, I wanted to show you guys these guys just because they're really cool. So, if you see something, by all means, feel free to go download it, give it a thumbs up, etc. Share your make, you know, over here. Makes. Other people made them. It's always nice to show your makes. So, anyway, we got this cool Cthulhu style one. This I thought was pretty nifty. It's a little briefcase. Oh, and this is the other thing, actually, the other reason why I have these up. If possible, I would like to have a section in our deck box for holding dice and chips and whatnot. So that is something to keep in mind for our design. One of our design goals, if possible. It's not mission critical, but if possible. This one kind of falls into the area of why not just buy a deck box, but I included it over here just because, again, to remind me in case I missed it on the other ones, we do want space for dice. And that one in particular, you know, that's why you would not buy a store-bought one, because it did have space for dice while being minimalistic. Again, I really like this one. You know, this, back to Spellbook, your library. This is a nice style. I appreciate this one. If possible, we'd do something like this, but we're not. We're doing a mechanical design, so that one's off the table for now. This is another interesting design where it has these cutouts here so that you know, can see, you confirm your decks in there for one. One of those things you should be able to tell. But the other thing is that the cutouts allow you to pick the cards up and out of it easier. That's the other nice thing. I believe the Spellbook also had cutouts for your thumbs, if I remember correctly. It did not. Okay, so that's one. Oh, it did. Sorry. It did right here. That's this one right here. This cutout right here so that you can get to it. So that's something else we might need to think about, although the way I'm thinking about it, and we'll get to it when we look at the other ones, not quite the same. And probably not going to be an issue. Here's a nice pirate deck box one. And this is, for example, one of the reasons why we may not have an issue. You see how the cards are sticking up out of the deck box so you can grab them above the deck box line. That may be what we're looking at when we make our own, but we'll see where that comes from. Here's a nice one. Little bit of electrical work in here, you know, just an LED. It's a nifty idea. It might be something we might want to look at, is including some electronics, although again, that's not a mission critical one, so not very worried about it. And then I have this one up here, even though this is pretty simplistic. just because of two things. One, the magnet here to keep it closed. That's something we can think about. We can think about including magnets. And two, one of these things with painting 3D prints, it doesn't always turn out well. This one happens to look alright because it is wood, because the design is wood. But I'm going to avoid, thinking about painting our deck box because, frankly, well, in theory, we could do a web type a wood type design for the 3D mechanism, but 3D printed mechanism, but it's probably not going to happen. So I'm not expecting to be painting this. And then I really like this one just for the theme. So over here on the left hand side, let's get another design. So one, it pieces together into enclose, which is kind of nifty, but on the left hand side you have your library, so it's design library, and then on your right hand side you have your graveyard. So I thought that was a really nice idea. Dr. Cameron, I really like that idea. If you're looking for a deck box that's simpler, by all means, I'd consider. I mean, if I was going to print one and not make my own, I'd print this one. This one is, I think, a very aesthetically pleasing deck box. Not as intricate as, for example, the Cthulhu one. The Cthulhu one would probably have been my second, print. But it's functional while also being aesthetic without being overbearing like the artistically designed one. So those are those ones, and this is the one that we are inspired by. I don't know if this is the exact print that I printed. There is a redesigned one that's a larger size. I may have printed that one, but this is what inspired me. I saw this one, I was like, ooh, this is cool and nifty, and then frankly I printed it out and was a bit underwhelmed by it. But this is what we're going off of. So as you can see, what's the best picture? Yeah, I have this one up just in case it was a little easier to see, but I don't know that you necessarily, because of the black, are able to see it as well. But basically, the lid has gears on it. These gears drive this rack, which in turn raises the deck up out of the box. It is a nifty design. I do like it. It's just a little underwhelming compared to what I was looking for. And then the last thing here is this one, which I wanted to include because this is probably how we're going to be doing the outer case. We're going to have some see-through parts so that you can see the mechanism working, because again, the problem, well, not again because I didn't specifically say it, but the problem I have with this guy is that you don't really see it functioning as you're opening it up, which takes away from it. So this guy, on the other hand, you can see it functioning, which is nicer. So that is all our prep work out of the way, just giving you an idea. Whoops, ignore that. Back to I'm on desktop right now. So, oh, and I haven't opened up Fusion. So you're gonna see everything on the desktop. Let's see that desktop instead. So Fusion. Just getting Fusion open because I forgot. Taking a drink of the coffee. Interesting thing is, I'm looking at my stream. Well, not my actual stream, but the preview, and it's at my stream. Give me half a second. I'm curious whether or not my music's actually getting through the stream. Yeah, okay, it is. My streaming software, I'm not seeing the music play, but okay, now it's updating. Now it's saying that the music's playing on my streaming software. Alright, cool. My streaming software, I'm not seeing. Good deal. Now Fusion, where are you at? Why aren't you open yet? Now it's updating. Now it's saying that the music's playing on my streaming software. Alright, cool. Alright, there we go. There's Fusion. Good deal. Now let's hop over to Fusion. Oh. Alright, just a moment more. It's still on the splash screen. So anyway, for this deck box, let's fill some time here while Fusion is opening. I like the gear and rack mechanism. That is a nifty mechanism. I would like it to be a bit more elaborate when it opens up. So I'm thinking about some kind of Chinese puzzle box. Well, They used to be Chinese puzzle box. I'm pretty sure they're just called puzzle box at this point. But a puzzle box style mechanism where it may take a couple pushes. That's what I'm thinking about, but I'm not 100% sure that that's, should we say, useful. It's one of those things where it's nice in principle, but if you never actually want to take your cards out of the box, then I'm not sure exactly that's a good idea. Fusion is open now, so let's hop over to Fusion. Fusion desktop. Alright. Otherwise, we probably will work with gears, like I said before. It probably will be a complex gear system. It's just I would like it to be a bit more complex than rack and pinion. So let's get the card in here, or I guess a deck proxy, and just taking some quick measurements. A card with the sleeve, and I probably should know this from all the playing I've done, but it's been a while. So with the sleeve, I'm getting about 92 millimeter by, let's round that up to 66.5, and that was obviously height by, let's face, how do we want to do this? Which face do we want to start out with? I guess the front. So this is 92 by 66.5, I said. Height by width, 66.5. And center this guy on there. And let's look at, so this is a standard 60, or yeah, Magic is 60, right? 40 is Yu-Gi-Oh! So 60 card deck, we're looking at 35 millimeters, let's call it 50 millimeters just for extra cards. So I'm going to have this deck proxy be 50 millimeters deep. And paper, do we got paper in here? No? Alright, I guess we're plastic today. What color do we want? Opaque. Let's do blue. Yeah, blue. Alright, there's our deck. Deck proxy. Step 1 achieved. So a couple things to think about. Thickness of the gears. I'm do we want to do 3 or 5 millimeters? Let's I'm gonna go grab 1 second. And let's hop over to the camera. So here's the version I printed out. That is my what you call it deck, EDH deck. It is an EDH deck as opposed to a Highlander or a Commander deck, because Commander did not exist when I made that deck. So 3.5 millimeters is what they made the thickness on these gears, it looks like. And there's just your example of how this one works. And that creaking noise is because I used paper clips instead of pins. So I didn't have any brad nails, is what I believe they suggested. I believe they suggested brad nails. But as you can see, rack and pinion, lowers the floor, etc. Whoops, sorry for hitting the mic there. Again, got to figure out a better situation with this mic, which may be getting a different directional mic, which I can have, you know, slimmer profile facing me is what I'm thinking might be easier. So we said 3.5 is a good thickness for the gears. That's what the other one uses, and frankly they feel sturdy enough, so I will stick at, well, probably could get away with 3. Probably just round it down to 3 if we wanted to, but for right now, nominally, we'll be sticking with 3.5. So that is where we're at with that. The next question is, let's make our deck box. How exactly we go about arranging this? So there's 2 different ways we can do it, right? orientations. Three. There's three. Obviously. Three. Yes. Z, up and down. So having the deck standing up and down like the example is. Turn it on the side. That was, if we turn on the side, that would be like the pirate box. The pirate box was on the side like this. And we also have it laying down like this. I think that's right. Anyway, actually, well, the orientation that I'm thinking of is actually like this. Come on, click, 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 click. Like that. And the reason I would use this one, and I very well may use this one, this orientation, is because it is like a puzzle box. Puzzle boxes tend to be widest. Longest measurement is wide. Second longest measurement is depth. And then the shortest measurement is height. A lot of them are in that rectangular shape. And actually, while I have my EDH deck here, let me just double check the thickness of it. So that we can, because this feels a lot thicker than what I said. So this is 55 millimeters thick. And what do we say for this deck box? 50. Okay, so I'm going to turn this to 60 then, in that case. To give us ourselves an extra 5 millimeters. And actually, just for reference sake, let me grab my dice box. Dice box, a D20 is roughly 20 millimeters opposing faces. And on the diagonal, about 23. So if we leave ourselves about a 25-ish cube, we should be fine. Again, assuming we want to use dice or have a space for dice. So let me... Yeah, I think we're going to start off with the premise that this deck box is going to be oriented the other way. So let's align this. Yeah, I guess we just grab it like that. Orientation. There it is. That's what I want. Cool. Groovy. Alright. So this is now in the orientation that I'm looking for. No, it's not. I take that back. Let's rotate this really quick. I would like you to rotate around the axis there. 90. That does not appear to be what I was looking for. Control Z. Components. Select that. Around the axis. Come on. There we go. 90. There we go. Much better. So there's our front. And let's check the origin here. Alright, its origin is still facing the correct direction, or in the same plane as our main origin. So we are looking good. Cool, cool, cool. And capture position. Alright, so again, didn't put much thought into how exactly we're going to be doing this one. So let's see. So puzzle boxes very often have sliding sides, which are required to open up. So, and the slides block each other. And then I wanted to include gears and stuff for the mechanisms. Yeah, actually, those are two different designs. So we're gonna pick one. And I'm gonna go with the mechanical design. So let's see if I incorporate the dice chamber. let's say I put the dice chamber on this side. So, which way do I want to design it? Guess it makes most sense to do it on this side here. Construction, right side of deck. Dice chamber. Excuse me, pardon me. And I am going to rough this out for the moment. And yeah, I'm just gonna rough this out. So we'll just call this I'll go with the opposing side measurement, which would be the 20 millimeters, if I recall correctly. So that is a rough out of the space we need. It's going to need a little bit more because it's going to need walls. But I'm thinking if we use this to drive the mechanism, that might be cool. Actually, if we use this and then another thing, then we get back to the idea of the puzzle box without it being super complicated. So this dice thing, dice chamber, I'm going to put a rack on. I think that's how I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to put a rack on the dice chamber, which is going to drive gears. The gears are going to move another piece out of the way, another wall out of the way, and then we can make this other side. So if this dice chamber is a rack, it drives a pinion. The pinion lifts the lid. Okay. The pinion lifts the lid, which unlatches a gear on this side. The gear on this side we spin. So let me do that really quick. Spin top, I'm gonna call it for now. Deck, left side. Left side of deck. Okay. Hop back over to the spin deck. And project that. I'm just gonna call this 5 millimeters for right now. So, and let me throw a joint in here. As built joint to keep things simple. Revolve. Turn the deck box off, or the deck off. There. Okay. So we then, once the lid opens up, spin this guy, and that spinning opens something else. And well, opens the face of the deck box. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's going to be our layout for this guy. Alright, so I guess it's just putting it together now and figuring out what has to happen in order to get it together. So, let's start making gears. This, we want to be a rack. Let's get back over to the dice chamber before I do that, because the dice chamber is going to be the first thing that we put a gear on. This is going to be a rack. The module, I'll leave it at 3. Let's make it 10. It's going on the side, so we don't have to worry about it as much. Gear thickness, though, is going to be our 3 millimeters. I said 3.5 earlier. I'm just going to round down to 3. Nah, alright, fine. I said 3.5. And that, I don't particularly like the size of that guy. The size of the teeth there. So, let's cancel, undo, create. Let's try that again. Height, length. Oh, the module. Okay, that's the module was huge. Right. Let's preview this. What do I look like with a herringbone? And not particularly. And the helix angle, let's go down to 0. Yeah, we don't need a helix angle. We don't need no helix angle. The 8 on the height is fine. The length, let's see. The length is probably going to be the width of this, right? So that length is, check this really quick, 66.5. Yeah, sounds fine to me. We'll make that 66.5. Delete. $66.5. Okay. Get up here. And then we will rearrange this. Let's get this aligned. Turn off the deck. Let's get that aligned with the top of the deck. That side. Modify, align. That with the top. Okay. Nope, not okay. Control Z. Modify, align. Actually, nah. Control Y. Modify, align. We'll just do this again. And go from that face to that face and hit the flip button. Alright, fine. You're going to be difficult. I understand. Modify, align. Top, top, and flip again. There we go. That's where we want it. I think that's where we want it. Actually, maybe not. Nah. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe not. Because I'm going to want to put a gear up here, and that gear is going to be driven. So let's create that gear really quick. Rack, external gear, and let's see. So we have 4 tooth on this guy. So, and we want this guy to move this gear 90, this lid 90 degrees. So it's going to be flat up here, and then it's going to be pointing straight up when we're done. So that 90 degrees is 1/4. So 1/4 times 4 is 16. Okay, yeah. So we can keep that. We'll keep that. And I don't know where this guy's going to end up. He's huge. Holy crap. Let's see if there's anything we can change about that. Well, we are only going to take 1/4 of it. Its module is 5, which is why it's so big. Alright, let's come down here and get this guy sorted out really quick. Turn him into 1/4, and we'll see how obnoxious it is from there. I'm gonna go here to here, and then whoops, try that again. Distance all, and intersect, and flip the position. There we go. So that's our gear. Deck box, and this should be in the deck box. Are you in the deck box? No? Deck box? Alright, you're being difficult. Cut. Nope. Hop up here. That's funny. So I was able to put the rack in there, but not the gear. That is fascinating. Yeah, right. Whatever. Whatever. Just gonna be difficult. So this gear is going to be down to start with, so let's align that down. Whoops, don't delete. Align gear down on the deck. And flip that guy. Nah, don't flip that guy. Modify, align, get you aligned with the back. Whoops, not that. Bodies, back, and now flip. Okay, and then we lined you up. Yeah, it's so big, man. Ha 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 ha. Well, nah, it's not big enough. It's not so big that it will be a problem, is what it comes down to. Because this will just kick everything over. Bodies there. And flip. No, fine. Is this really fine? This is not fine. Not. No, you are on the outside. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. He's on the outside. Good, 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 good. And then this guy. Let's capture position. This guy goes down the bottom. Modify, align. Yeah, let's align the top first. That. To that. And flip. Okay. And then we can modify, align. That. No, that's not gonna work, is it? Nope, not gonna work. Yeah, let's modify like this. Align to there. Dude, what are you doing? That's a flat surface. You should just align up to. All right. Manually moving it. We will manually move this. And how is this going to end up sitting like that? .1 25. Are you clipping? I don't think you're clipping. I think you're clear. Yeah, you're clear. All right, cool. You can sit there then. Okay, capture position. Okay. So there's that mechanism. Except for that's not how that mechanism is going to work. Yeah, this is one of those problems with doing this on the fly without thinking through this. So that obviously, when this goes that way, it's going to go down with it, which is the opposite direction. If this goes this way, actually, you know what? I'm trying to think if we can salvage this. It may be a matter of we're going to make this gear smaller, the module smaller. And let me take a look at the module on sample deck box. Just because it rolls really nice. Alright, module, sample deck box. is only about 3mm. So yeah, these are way bigger than they need to be. So there's a couple things here. One, so we want the rack to head in this direction. That way, most of the travel of the rack is contained within the deck box area. So that means that wants to go that way, but any gear meshing with it is going to spin clockwise, which means that obviously this is going to open up. Now we can actually change how we're going to do this and have the back open up, which may make more sense, honestly. Yeah, you know what, that's probably fine. We may just keep it like this. I was thinking the other thing that we could do is we can change the module here, take this module down. We're at module 10 right now, or 5, okay. We could bring the module down from 5 to 3, shift this whole entire mechanism down, and then we'll have this be a full gear with fewer teeth, and then mesh it with another gear. That way we're reversing the direction of our gears, which is up here in this place, and lifts the lid. That's the way we could do it, but rather than add more gears to it, I think I'm actually just going to have that back open instead, because it doesn't necessarily matter which face opens first. So yeah. Plus, if the back opens first, then that gives us a little bit of it hides the opening mechanism, like it hides the deck rather, until you spin the lid and get the final get the rest of it open. So yeah, I think I'm actually cool with this. So I'm going to leave this rack full size for right now. We may cut this rack down depending on the overall dimensions of how that box ends up being. But what I will do is so the only question now is, obviously this needs to get mounted, and we can mount it with a regular thing, but then there needs to be a wall on the other side. So we're going to come back to deck box here, use right side of deck, okay, use that, and put a temporary wall in, and I'll just keep it at the 3mm like I like to do. Okay, and then we can go ahead and realign this stuff. Modify, align, turn the deck off, or deselect the deck. There we go. Let's grab that guy, move him out. Okay, capture position, modify, align, move that guy out there, capture position. Alright, there we go. And that, whoops, I did not hit OK. Modify, align, U, capture position, OK. And we can come back over here to deck box and throw that little pivot hinge in. So call this right side of inner case, because we may have it, well, not we may, we most likely, almost certainly will have an inner and an outer case. So project, okie dokies. Toss this in here. We'll make this, I mean, 10 is fine. It's one of those things. Bigger is, well, you know. Keep it simple. Turn you guys off for the moment. Project you, distance to object. Helical gear. Not actually a helical gear. Join. Combine, that, cut, keep tools, Hop back over to here. Offset face, minus 0.1. I want this to be a little looser than normal because it's going to be a sliding mechanism. I don't want it binding up. And that is that. Cool. Alright, I'm going to throw a joint in here so that we can start working on this stuff. That and that. And turn the deck box off for a second. Get the center of that. Okie dokies. Modify. Or let's throw an as-built joint in. That with the deck box. And that's going to be a slider along that line. Okay. And then we can throw a motion link between those two. That one and that one. And it is one of these things where 90. It's one of those things where that's going to need to be fine-tuned just for the animation purposes and actually. So I had this in my mind. Yeah, this has to go that way. So let's hop up here, find that motion link and reverse it. Okay. So that goes that way. And again, the actual distances here will have to be tweaked for animation purposes, but at least we have that together now. Now, let us make another component called the back panel. And that's what this gear will be attached to. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. So the inner case could be open on the back. We could have the inner case running like underneath around to the other side to connect to the other side. But I think I'm going to go ahead and throw a connection between here and the other side on the inner case. So the inner case here will connect to the other side also along the back. And the reason I'm doing that is so that the deck, when this flap opens up on the back, does not fall out the back. So that's why I'm doing that one. So in which case, let me go ahead and put that in right now. Deck box. Do we have? Okay, so the deck box, I should probably move this to another component. Just because we're going to have an inner and outer case. So let us now get this drawn out and deck. Throw another construction on there. Okay. Back of deck. Back side of deck. Have you ever seen the back side of water? How many people know that reference? I guess we'll find out. And project that too. Okay. Turn some stuff off so that we can see what we're looking at. Yeah, that is in the wrong component. So let's hop back in here. Inner case. Hop onto the back side of that. Reproject those. Actually, I'm probably just gonna keep that as is. Let's turn these guys off for now. Okay, turn you off. So we'll just turn these sketch lines into construction lines and then just extrude like that. Brain no work. Okay. And back to I'm thinking of hollowing this out right now. We'll see what happens. I'll take a look at it, revisit that question. Anything else I wanted to add while I'm in here? I don't think so. So let us yeah, so that needs to be realigned. So let's back up a little bit here. This stuff, all three of these need to go. They're not going to let me, are they? Yeah, they're not going to let me. Okay. Ways to fix this. Alright, so the simplest way to fix this, right, is just to hop in here and extend you. And distance to object there. Okay, join. Alright, it's fixed. Not the prettiest looking thing, but it's fixed. The other way is just to backtrack, delete a lot of the joints and whatnot that's stopping me from moving this backwards. It looks like this component is blocked by this joint, so I would delete that and see if we can get there otherwise, and basically realign this pinion to the back and then re-put the hole in it, etc, etc, etc. Get us caught back up, but for now I will not be doing that. And now this gear, I'm thinking is technically part of the outer case, just because it's going to be the second wall that opens up here. One of those things, it's not letting me move it right to anywhere else, so there's not much I can do about that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make the outer case component, outer case, capital O, and we are now going to inner case, construction, and draw in the outer case's back wall, which is lifted by this guy. Back of inner case. Okay. Outer case. Draw. Back of inner case. Project all this stuff. That end. That guy. Okay. Turn a bunch of stuff off, so we see what we're looking at. Okay, and then I'm going to. Last time I just turned off the center lines. This one I'm actually going to go ahead and redraw a new box, and this is going to be the locking mechanism that stops the top case from rotating, which means that it should extend out a little bit. And now the question is how exactly, I guess I will include that here. So let's do 3.5 millimeters. Actually, it's going to need to be more than that. And I will show you why. Let's hop back over to the inner case, redraw this back wall. Not redraw this back wall. Before we draw this back wall, I am going to, let's turn the inner case on, turn the deck on, draw in the opposite side here. So deck, we should have a left-sided deck, yep. So let's draw that guy in. 3 millimeters. We are in the inner case, so we're good there. Stop. Project that guy. Okay. And we'll just do the same thing here. Turn these guys off. Turn those guys off. Finish. And now on this next thing, we should join to the other one as well. Cool. And now we can hop back over here. Let's come back up top to make sure that we're getting all the way to the end. New component. Draw. Alright, cool. That's what I was looking for. So let's turn that guy. And now we will... So the question is, what do we want to be visible on this spin top? So in other words, I guess we go like this. Okay. And the spin top is going to have to hook into the inner case somehow. I believe it may be more than 3 millimeters. I'm going to call it 3 millimeters right now. So here's the inner case right here. And then I'm imagining the spin top being right here. And it's being blocked by this back wall, which is why I can't move. So we're probably good there. And then we... outer case. Oh, I never actually extruded it. That is why. 3 millimeters. Helical gear. Join. Oh, I guess we can't join just yet, so new body. And now I'm going to have to join it like this. Those two. Join. Don't keep tool. Okay. I guess we got to join it the other way then. Join that one plus that one. Okay, there we go. So there is that. And let's look at what we got so far. Turn you on. Don't turn the bodies on there. So we got this. Oh, I'm gonna have to redo this joint right here. So let me just delete that joint altogether from the history bar because we don't need it anymore. Yes, delete. That does get rid of our motion link. We'll just redo that as a bit joint. And that guy and that guy. And turn off. Deck box, inner case. Turn the inner case off so I can see this. And you are a revolver. But pew pew pew. Oh, this is funny. Did I not select the right one? So select that. Select the inner case. There we go. Oh, there it is. Cool. Okie dokies. And then modify. Or not modify, motion link. We're going to link that guy and that guy. The angle is going to be 90, not 960, 90. And the distance let's see what happens here. Well, reverse it like we said last time. Okay. It's honestly pretty close. Nice. I'm pretty sure back to this is 66.5, right? Yeah, 66.5. So that probably just needs to be 66.5, okay. It's not quite right. Whatever. Close enough. And let's see. so that gets that there. I will have to do the outer case wall here. Let's do that now. Outer case, and this helical rack should be inside the outer case. And let's see, how do we want to define this? Outside of gear, I guess. Makes sense. Side of gear. And let's get some drawing done. Include that. Include that. I'm not on project tool. Cool. Alright, so that and that. And I can honestly turn this helical gear off forever because it is no longer part of the design. Bodies, bodies, and then turn the other stuff off. Deck box. Whoops, not deck box. Not deck box. Dice chamber can go off. Deck can go off. And I think we're good. Cool. So let's do this, and then I'm gonna toss this guy in here like last time. And that should line up there and there. And that should line up with the bottom of the wall there. For right now, at any rate. We'll see what happens in the future. We may have to add on there. And for right now, I am going to project in the deck. And I'm going to set this guy, whoops, set this guy for 3mm, assuming that we're going to have a front wall here. And then we can go 3mm there. Turn the bodies back on. Turn the helical gear on. And turn that guy off. And we will combine that and that. Join. Unless that's not actually touching. Even though it looks like it is. Which it may not be. So modify, align. I don't like the fact that I have that point picked instead of the face. That. Huh. Oh, it did join. Awesome. Okay. Cool. Alright, we're gonna have to, in order to keep this, the animations in here, we're gonna have to split these guys off to their own components. One of those things, I'd prefer to do this as part of the body creation, but I didn't think of it, and therefore we're gonna have to just add a timeline object, instance, whatever you want to call it, entry, right side wall. Okay, and all our motion links and joints should be gone at this point. It looks like they're still there. Let's see what happens. Yep, not working. So let's go back and reestablish these guys. Delete that guy. Yes, it will delete our motion link. Delete that guy. And then modify. As built joint. Boink, boink. Actually, I shouldn't have deleted the revolve. Yeah, I shouldn't have deleted the revolve. As built joint. Slider. That on the inner case, I think. And we'll still use that construction line. Okay. And then we will motion link. Slider. That guy. And we said 66 was good. And 90. And the back wall's not moving anymore. Reverse. Okay. Alright, so that is not the right... Yeah, delete. Alright, that is something that will be fixed in the future. So we are at the hour mark. I am thinking... So honestly, an hour seems good to me on these streams. So I'm thinking of just leaving it here for now because we have enough done. It's not... So for example, last time I decided to... Whoops. Last time with the champagne capper, I tried to get extra stuff done and out of the way. And it's one of those things that didn't actually happen. I was hoping to get as much done as possible, and we ended up having to do an extra stream anyway. So, for that reason, I'm going to learn from that instance, that experience, and decide that we are definitely not going to get anywhere near done if I did hang on for, let's say, another half an hour, 45 minutes. And therefore, we're going to go ahead and end the stream here. So, this has been fun and interesting. Again, just a reminder, this I am going to be hollowing out so that you can see the mechanisms. I think that being able to see the mechanisms at play is a bit more interesting. The puzzle box aspect of it would suggest that you don't see anything and you got to figure it out yourself, but this is not meant to necessarily foil anybody and stop them from playing Magic. This is a fun little knick-knack, a cool boutique deck box, and the point of it is to, frankly, be inspired, impressed, etc. I mean, I'm not trying to say that you're going to, win over any friends showing off your deck box, but it is a nice little knick-knack to look at, and therefore, because it's supposed to be nice to look at, we're going to be hollowing those sections out. Then we will also, well, not then, probably before we hollow out the sections so that you can see the mechanisms, we'll add in the spin box here. And then from that point on, it's just adding in the other aspects of the box. For example, the dice chamber over here will get added on the side. The top and lid, etc. That will be added on as part of developing the spin box mechanism. So that is basically what we have yet to do. So yeah, that's the plan for next stream. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to comment, etc. And I hope you have a great and wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at in the world. And I will catch you next time.